Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here today and thank you for caring, not just about others, but for yourselves, for your brothers, for your sons, your friends, and your fathers. Today, we're here for something that often goes unspoken: men's mental health. So let's start with the truth. It's hard to hear. Men are struggling in silence and isolation. For generations, we've been taught to have our men strong, stoic, and silent. We've been told that real men don't cry, don't show weaknesses, and don't ask for help. We were given the script that says that emotions are our burden, vulnerability is failure, and struggle is weakness in men. But today we're tearing up the script because here's the reality: real strength is not staying silent, it's speaking up, it's having the courage to say, I am not okay. I'm reaching out today to ask you to reach out and not bottle it up. It's choosing healing over hiding. The statistics are sobering. Men are less likely to seek help for men's mental health issues. Men are more likely to die by suicide. Too many of them are suffering quietly behind closed doors, afraid of judgment from others and from themselves. But this is not how it has to be. The stigma, that deep invisible weight, only has power if we allow it to have power. The moment that men talk, the moment that they connect, the moment that they admit that being human means that something is sometimes feeling soft, feeling lost, anxious, depressed, overwhelmed. And that's when change happens. Let me be clear: asking for help is not a weakness, it is an act of bravery. Seeking help, talking to a friend, taking your medication, journaling, and meditating, whatever your path looks like, is valid and it's necessary. So, what can we do? We can start by showing up for ourselves and for each other. Check in on your friends. Really check in, not just you good, but how's your heart? What's been troubling you lately? What's been really going on? Hold space for emotional honesty. Normalize saying that you're struggling. Share your story, because vulnerability creates a chain reaction of courage. And if you're listening to this and you're struggling right now, please hear this. As I say, you are not alone. You are not broken. You are not less of a man because you're feeling something. This being June is Men's Mental Health Month. And every month, let's rewrite what it means to be a man. Let's make it okay to feel, to cry, to ask for help, and to heal. Because when men heal, families heal, communities heal, and the world heals. I would like during this presentation to, first of all, let you know that we're all here to learn from one another, to help one another. I would like to share a PowerPoint with you guys and review a couple things that has been going on that is very important for topics for us to discuss. So as an introduction, I would like to say, because I don't think that I said, my name is Victoria Fields. I am a licensed therapist in Columbia, South Carolina. I serve all of South Carolina. And I have been in the behavioral health and human service field for over 22 years. I believe it's been about um, I hate to say 22 and a half years now that I have been in this field. It's quite amazing that it's been this long. I am appreciating every bit of the different parts of helping other people in this community. So let me pull up this PowerPoint for you guys. All right. So, welcome to Men's Mental Health Month. Let's talk about the stigma of men's mental health and the things that it encompasses in society. As I said before, my name is Victoria Fields. I am a therapist here and I am your presenter for today. Today's agenda is the overview: why focus on mental health, understanding mental health stigma, roots of the stigma in men, consequences of the stigma, real voices, signs of mental health struggles in men, myths versus facts, strategies to reduce stigma, how to support men in your life, tools and resources, engagement by you guys, and call to action. And of course, I thank you for your time as always. So, why focus on men's mental health? This, yes, is Men's Mental Health Month. However, the main focus on why we need to focus is the key statistics show that there are higher suicide rates amongst men. Men have more finality in the method that they choose when it comes to committing suicide than women. I'm not saying that women are weaker, but like it's more fatal. When you make up your mind, you go through with it versus, the hesitancy of hurting yourself. And then help seeking behavior. Men are less likely to get the help that they need when it comes to mental health. This impacts our families, communities, workplaces, government, and society, little small businesses on the street. It impacts so many different ways with mental health. And then there are unique pressures that men face. Understanding mental health stigma. What is stigma, you might say? Well, let me tell you what stigma is. Stigma, broadly defined, is a mark of disgrace or disgrace associated with a particular person, circumstance, or quality. In the context of mental health, stigma refers to negative attitudes and beliefs about mental illness, leading to discrimination, prejudice, and social exclusion. It can manifest in various forms in social, self, and institutional stigma. So, social stigma is referring to the negative views, stereotypes, and prejudices held by society towards individual with mental health issues. It can include things such as people with mental health illnesses being dangerous, incompetent, or unreliable in situations. Social stigma can lead to discrimination in areas like employment, housing, and healthcare. Self-stigma. This occurs when individuals internalize the negative stereotypes and beliefs about mental illnesses from the social aspect and from other aspects that lead to feelings of shame, low self-esteem, and reluctance to seek help, to get the help that they need because of how others might view them, or they think how other people might view them. And then we have institutional stigma, which is like I would call it the background noise, but very, very prominent that a lot of people don't even think about. It is the systemic policies and procedures that kind of go around mental health and limit the opportunities for people to actually receive the mental health support, such as inadequate funding for mental health services, employment discrimination, or insurance exclusions. So institutional stigma could be a job workplace that might not promote mental health resources and support when things happen for them. And, stigma affects men differently because they come from different areas in their life. And then we have the roots of stigma in men. I like to say the cultural norms, masculinity, stereotypes of what a man is with the strength and muscles. If you have mental health issues, you're perceived weaker or less than. And then the cost, if you don't have the insurance to get the help that you need and you're on a higher level, what if you need injections for schizophrenia or something, you're worried about the money, you're worried about the institutional part. But a root of stigma in men that a lot of people don't talk about is in Southern culture, there is a thing where they say, don't talk about family business. Um, don't tell anybody what's going on. Oh, therapy is for women. Why don't you concentrate on the children? There are so many different stigma bases from the Southern culture that go way deep, that have not been talked about. The consequences of stigma, you have delayed help seeking, people thinking because like this, the self stigma, what would somebody say if they knew that I had therapy or that I take medication for this? Um, you thinking, oh, there's something going on with me, but you're not dealing with the PTSD, the nightmares, exposure to flashbacks. You're not dealing with any of these things. So you're delaying the help that you can get. You're isolating yourself. Some people use substances to cope. If they have anxiety, maybe they are smoking a pack of cigarettes a day versus one cigarette or half a cigarette a day. They're drinking more, functional alcoholism, smoking marijuana every day, violence. So consequences of the stigma is you not getting help. And if something happened in your childhood where maybe you saw abuse or was abused, you act out towards somebody else with that violence, or you like to fight, you join a fight club, or you're prone to the violence, and you never ask yourself why you're prone to the violence. And then with everything compacted with the stigma and you not getting help, we have higher suicide rates, people actually going out other way and then harming themselves. It is really hard to kind of want to look at one aspect of the stigma of mental health without looking at the other aspects of mental health. What I am about to do right now, excuse me for my technology. I am going to switch over to a video and show you guys. Great video, Center of Male Psychology did. All right, guys. So that is a wonderful video that have just fallen for. So my idea on male psychology is that that is my specialty. That is something that I'm very, very passionate about. And I found the Center for Male Psychology is based out of the United Kingdom, and they have a lot of research and resources for people who might want a little bit more information. You can also find information on male psychology through the APA or any of the other mental health organizations that are on a national level, and hopefully find the resources that way. So let me continue with our PowerPoint. So we all see the signs of mental health sometimes, and we might not even pay attention to them. It could be from the smallest things to the biggest things. We have signs of mental health struggles of men that are easy to notice, such as anger, being irritated. And we're not saying that they're worthy of a diagnosis. Everybody is allowed to have a bad day. But when one day leads to bad weeks and months and years, you have to ask yourself and ask the person that you love or care for, is there something that you would like to talk about or get help for? So anger, irritability, substance use, withdrawing from people, from substances, risk-taking behaviors, people who love jumping out of planes or hurting themselves, and then depression. So with depression, a conversation that I recently had was there are a lot of guys, a lot of men and boys that are doing self-harming behaviors. This can be part of actual ADHD, out of anxiety and depression and other disorders where you are nail biters. So for the nail biters, if you're biting yourself down to you're pulling the skin off of your fingers and stuff, and you seeing the blood, you just continue to go, please pay attention to what you're doing. You're harming yourself in some kind of way. To deal with anxiety, or maybe it's self-gratifying to feel that some people cut themselves, burn themselves, poke themselves, do things to your body that are unpleasant normally in nature, so you can feel the pain to get through whatever it is you're going through. Myths versus facts. So we're here to bust common myths, things like therapy is for the weak, therapy is for women and children, and why don't you focus on helping the women and help? Okay, so the the statistics show that men have higher suicide rates. Men have higher rates of workplace violence. If you're working in an Amazon warehouse and you have gangs that are opposing each other at work, of course there's going to be angry people there. There's going to be anxiety from going to work. Hey, I need to make my money, but there's another gang member there. There can be domestic violence at home. There's a lot of different things that are actual factual statistics that you can find when it comes to men's mental health, versus just saying, oh, mental illness is for weak people. Strategies to reduce the stigma. We have to normalize these conversations. We have to promote role models who will speak out and speak to the children, speak to the neighbors, the community, even on a legal level, having someone on a political level that will advocate for mental health awareness. And then we have to encourage emotional literacy in boys and men. And that can even go, as the little picture on here shows, encouraging emotional literacy can go to maybe talking to guys at the VA, or getting information from the VA to pass to the community. There's a lot of different ways that we can do this, and how to support the men in our life. being present and listen without judgment. That goes so far. A situation can be you hanging out with a friend, hanging out with your son and watching TV, and you notice that your son is quiet and it's like he's watching TV, but he's not really watching TV. Asking him, hey, what's going on in your mind? Not just saying, hey, is everything okay? Of course, and say, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. How's school today? I'm good. It was fine. But like saying, tell me something that happened, like actually asking open-ended conversation questions, asking questions that lend to answers that are a little bit more in depth. So just being present, listen, have empathy, understanding where they're coming from, sharing mental health resources if you have them, and then modeling that for yourself. If you have a brother, a friend, hopefully you have a real friend, and your real friend will understand your question is not just probing as I'm thinking of you. Um, and with sharing tools and resources, we have 911 and 988. On my voicemail or most therapist voicemails, you have, if this is an emergency, please call 911 or dial 988. Something I learned a long time ago, you can actually text 911 if you're in a situation and you don't want to talk. 988 was instituted not that long ago to help assist with crisis diversion, to help someone who might be feeling a certain way but don't want to talk or vocalize it. What if you have a disabled person that has depression to the point where they're so sad about them being disabled, they can't talk, but they need to let somebody know? That's what texting is for. That is what online chat is for. There has to be a way for people to be able to say, hey, I'm in crisis, I need help. So we have 911, 988. We have the National Institution of for Mental Health. We have SAMHSA. We have APA, the American Psychology Association. There's so many different ways out there. And you have, your local therapist. Go to psychologyoflife.net. And find a therapist. Get in touch with your insurance companies. Your insurance company will have a case manager that will show you who's in network, who's out of network. Employers sometimes have programs where you can get in touch with someone for like 3 free sessions. I've even heard of 8 free sessions, depending on the employer. So please reach out, share these resources if you know anybody that is in your community that needs help. So normally at this point, I will open it up for group engagement. I am doing a pre-recorded video, so I don't have any participants right now. And then call to action. I challenge everybody, outside of this just being Men's Mental Health Month, I challenge you every month to set a goal, one person a week. Even if you feel like you don't have that many people in your life, maybe once a month, checking in, having a men's mental health check-in once a month, on the first of the month, on the second of the month, whatever day you want, pick a person to check on, like a buddy system. Or if you have enough men in your life, your brothers, your father, your son, your whoever, once a week, checking on them, making sure they're okay. Then we have the resources and memes. You could put in Google and say Men's Mental Health Month meme or Men's Mental Health Month statistics, and share it. Share something saying, call 988 if you have mental health needs. Do your own research on what mental health is. Talk to a therapist. Talk to a trusted person that knows a little bit about mental health. Go to one of the national websites. YouTube has a lot of information. Some things you have to be careful of, but for the most part, there are a lot of people out there educating the public and the community, society, legal ways, political ways, on the different things with mental health. And then lastly, but not least, join or start a support group. So if you have the resources to start a program, start an association, start a nonprofit, please, please, please do that so we can help other people. I really, truly thank you for attending, watching this video, sharing this video, being part of the message, being part of the solution and not the problem. I just really, really am proud of you for taking this first step, getting more information. You can always visit psychologyoflife.net. There's events that are coming out this month. Mental Health Mondays, every Monday in the month of June. There will be webinars as well as the Men's Mental Health Summit, the first annual Unbreakable Summit that will be happening June 14th. So I thank you guys so much for your participation, and I hope you have a great, great evening and day. Bye.